Hey guys, this video is all about one of the most popular flowering plants and which is nothing but petunias. I believe you have already seen the plants in park or many other places, and you see these plants in many places because of the only one reason, and that is they are really great plants, and I mean they will be blooming really very well and need very less maintenance and care. As you can see, this is one plant which I purchased just recently, I mean yesterday, and here in this video I am going to show you everything from growing it, and at the end of the video you are going to see lots of blooms. So let's get started. To grow the plants, I am going to use 6 inches of plastic pot, and please note that the height of the pot should not be too much. I mean, it's okay if you are going to use, let's say, 8 inches or 10 inches of pot, but it's really not that necessary. The height minimum 6 inches would be really perfect, and it would be also great if you can use a pot where width is more than the height. So you can use a pot something like this, and that way you would be able to get lots of blooms when the plant is going to cover the entire pot. That time it would give you a very nice look. But for time being, I am just going to use the 6 inches of pot. My pot has lots of drainage holes, and it's not that important to have this many drainage holes. Only one would be fine. Just keep some hard object on the drainage hole so that water can drain out well. I am just using some broken pieces of the clay pot. For the potting soil mix, I am taking 60% of normal garden soil and 40% of vermicompost. Please note that my soil is already bit sandy, so I am not adding any kind of sand to the potting soil mix. However, if your soil is not sandy, that time please add at least 20 to 25% of either sand or coco peat to the potting soil mix. Okay, now it's time to repot the plant, and I am not going to take out the plant the way I usually do. And the reason is that the nursery people recently transplanted the seedlings, and I know that the soil in the root ball is really very soft. I am doing it extremely carefully, but you can see that all the soil already came out, and just take a look at the seedling. No damage is done to the seedling, as you can see. Next, I am just filling the container, making a hole in the center and then planting the seedling. Next, just pressing the soil very gently around the seedling, and that's it. Repotting is done, and next it's time to water it. I did, but somehow I forgot to record it. Next, I am going to keep the pot in a bright area for next few days, let's say 2 to 3 days, and then only I am going to keep the pot in a place where it would be getting at least 3 to 4 hours of direct sunlight. Alright, here is an interesting fact about the petunias. Let me ask you one question. Did you know that petunia change the color of the blooms depending on the temperature? If you did not know, let me tell you that they do change the color of the blooms depending on the temperature. So the color whatever you are getting in the month of November or December going to change in the month of the April or May, since temperature rises in April or May month. Today I am updating the video mainly because of one reason, and that is today I am going to fertilize my plant. But before fertilizing, let me tell you two very important things. The first one is, see, you should keep on doing the deadheading procedure if you are expecting lots of blooms on your petunias. Now deadheading means simply removing the spent blooms, and as you can see this bloom is already spent, so you just need to remove it. And removing only the bloom is not enough. You need to cut the entire portion from where the seed pods are going to be produced. So just keep on doing it, and that way the plant would be producing more blooms for you. Now here you might get confused like which one is a new bud and which one is a spent blooms. Let me show you from the close. As you can see, this is a new bud. Similarly here again, this is another new bud. However, this is already spent blooms, and you would be easily able to identify them just looking at the petals. I mean, the spent blooms would have petals that would look somewhat wilted, whereas in the new bud the petals would look somewhat firmed. So that way you'd be able to identify which one is already spent and which one is the new bud. And the second most important thing is pruning, which I will be showing you just after 1 minute. So now let's fertilize our plant. To fertilize my plant, I am going to apply NPK 19-19-19. As you can see, I am taking 5 grams of NPK and then mixing it in 1 liter of water. And if you want to stay on the safer side, I would recommend you to use only 2.5 grams in 1 liter of water. However, if you don't want to apply any kind of chemical fertilizers, that time you can apply either vermicompost or compost cow dung powder once in 20 to 30 days, and for that you can apply near about 50 to 70 grams for a 6 inches of pot. Just fertilize them timely and believe me, you would be rewarded with lots of blooms. While talking about the sunlight requirements, please note that petunias would be blooming well if they get more amount of sunlight, and I would recommend you to protect your plants from the midday heat or even the afternoon sunlight. Definitely you can provide them the morning sunlight, let's say till around 12 p.m. That would be enough for petunias. As of now, all of my plants are getting the sunlight from around 1 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. and believe me, this is really very bad for the plants, but I really don't have any choice other than keeping them in that place. So hopefully they are going to bloom well in coming few days. Anyway, let's see how that thing goes. So this is the final result and I really hope that you are liking it. This is the end part of the video, so let us discuss some very important things quickly. So the first important thing is sunlight, which I already discussed with you, and the next important thing is watering. Believe me that petunias need consistently moist soil. So if you are also going to grow petunias in a container just like me, I mean in a 6 inches of pot, and they are also getting the sunlight similar to me, that time you would like to water them daily. And this is the same thing that I did. And if you are going to grow them in somewhat bigger pot, let's say 12 inches of pot or even bigger pot, that time please be careful while watering. Don't keep the soil too wet, just check the soil, and if you find the topsoil is getting dry, that time please water your petunias. Anyway, just remember that if you are underwatering your plants, you are going to know it very soon, because they are going to wilt their leaves or even the blooms. Alright, and if you are overwatering, that time also you are going to get many other problems, like you would be getting different kind of fungal attacks on a plant, let's say black mold diseases or powdery mildew. So please be careful. The other important thing is pruning your petunias, and this is extremely important. Now let me show you one of my plant. As you can see, it growing really leggy, so I am just going to prune it, and I am going to hard prune it actually. And let me show you how you can do that. I know that you might get angry with me because of doing this, but please note that the plant is going to look bushier in coming few days, and this is the same thing you can do. And anyway, you have to do, I mean you have to prune your petunias on a continuous basis so that you get a bushy and full flowering plants. So these are the two important things that you need to do as a maintenance. The first one, which I already mentioned you, is the deadheading and the pruning. In case if you are getting any kind of pest attack on your plants, that time you can use the neem oil once in 7 to 10 days. I do have one video where I have shown the entire process properly, so I would recommend you to watch that video if you don't know how to apply the neem oil. And there are two main diseases that you can find on your petunias, and those are the powdery mildew, and second one is the black mold disease. If you are getting any kind of fungal diseases on your plants, that time you can apply the fungicide like surf fungicide. And to apply the surf fungicide, you can use 2 grams in 1 liter of water. 2 grams would be near about half teaspoon. Mix it into 1 liter of water and then apply, spray on the leaves. So guys, this is all about how to grow and care for the petunias. And if you found the video useful, please don't forget to like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Thank you very much for taking your valuable time to watch the video. I genuinely appreciate it, and if you have any questions, simply write down below and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you once again. Have a great day.